What is going on, y'all? Welcome to Joel Friday TV. I am Joel Friday. Welcome to the show. A few announcements before we get started. Hit that like button, smack it, lay the smack down, like, subscribe, and share button. Tell your peoples about the show so we get the subscribers up and the message out. Do it now. Help a brother out. As you guys know, we are live Monday through Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific time on YouTube, Instagram, Punchy.tv, and on Facebook. Let's double check Punchy.tv real quick. And at any point during the show, what could you do? You know, and I know what you can do. You can call in at 888-775-3773, 888-775-3773, and we can talk about whatever you want, y'all. We can get into it. We can fight. Oh, we can get to it. Oh. I don't believe we're on Punchy.tv today, but that's okay. We're going to work that out. It was just a simple fix, okay? Not a technical issue, just a simple fix that I have to make an adjustment to that I didn't beforehand make an adjustment to today. So we will be on Punchy.tv as normal, and all that good stuff. If maybe one of the guys out there, if their hands are not too busy, can get Punchy.tv going on my caster. That's the only thing that's missing. It's on my caster, the link for a Punchy.tv. If it's too complicated, it's all good. We'll have it ready for you guys tomorrow. No worries. But you can call in, and if for whatever reason you can't call in, but you still have a question or comment, or you just want to support the show, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/JoelFridayTV. The link is in the description, or go directly to the YouTube live chat. Send your question or comments there, and I'll read them live on air. You guys know how it goes. Shout out to the viewers, the watchers, and the chatters. I appreciate you guys. Much love. Amazing stuff. Let's get into it. Oh, I got some stuff for you today. I got some stuff. Okay? Because I told you that there's a shift that's happening in America, maybe in the world, but definitely in America, in a positive direction. The truth is getting out. People are seeing it, and a shift is happening. I said this before. I've been saying it because I've been seeing it. And I got some examples to show you guys, because things are happening that we ain't think would happen. And Cat Williams got on Shay Shay and told y'all that 2024 and 2025, the truth was going to come out. Oh, it's going to come out. And it is. So shout out Cat Williams. But if you're paying attention, you will see the shift. And I got something I want to show you guys, because as you guys know, Mark Zuckerberg, I don't know if you guys know, this is in the news. He actually just posted recently. This is from Instagram, because I got some clips I want to show you guys, and some pictures as well. This is from Instagram. Let me show you here. Mr. Marky Mark said Mark Zuckerberg announces Meta will end fact-checking program. Meta will end fact-checking program. Well, what exactly does that even mean? And how does that benefit the users over here on IG or Instagram or Facebook and Meta? How does that affect the people? Well, let him explain it. This is from Instagram. Mark Zuckerberg explains the changes happening this year on his social platforms. Here we go.
Finally, we're going to work with President Trump to push back on governments around the world that are going after American companies and pushing to censor more. I started building social media to give people a voice. A lot has happened over the last several years. Governments and legacy media have pushed to censor more and more. A lot of this is clearly political. Recent elections also feel like a cultural tipping point towards once again prioritizing speech. We're going to get back to our roots and focus on reducing mistakes, simplifying our policies, and restoring free expression on our platforms. We're going to get rid of fact checkers and replace them with community notes, similar to X, starting in the US. Simplify our content policies and get rid of a bunch of restrictions on topics like immigration and gender. We're changing how we enforce our policies. We used to have filters that scanned for any policy violation. Now, we're going to focus those filters on tackling illegal and high-severity violations, bringing back civic content. For a while, the community asked to see less politics because it was making people stressed, so we stopped recommending these posts. It's been so difficult over the past 4 years when even the US government has pushed for censorship. Now we have the opportunity to restore free expression, and I am excited to take it.
Interesting stuff. Mark is feeling good. Mark is feeling good right now. I don't know when he changed his mind or if he's been thinking this or not, but I do know is that the first time I heard Mark Zuckerberg really start to think differently, the first time I specifically heard it was when Trump, the attempted assassination on Trump, and he got up and did a fist. Mark Zuckerberg said in the interview, he's like, I don't choose any sides, Republican or Democrat, but when Trump got up and did the fist, that was pretty badass. I was just repeating what he said, kids, so that's why I said it. But not one person in the world can deny that thing that happened, that moment with Trump. And this guy said it and admitted to it. Also, he wrote a letter talking about fact checking that we read on Punchy TV, where he was apologizing to the public for leaning more on the Democratic side over the past elections. So, come on, these are guys that are running these corporations, these big machines that influence people's opinions. We see Elon Musk, X, right? His influence on Twitter and free speech has made a big impact, right? And now people like Mark Zuckerberg is out there, one of the controllers of the major platforms we use, Facebook and Instagram, is now trying to create free speech. That's amazing. And I'm going to tell you why. Because some of you guys know, if you follow JFTV on Instagram, Joel Friday, you will see that I posted some stuff. I posted a couple videos that to me seemed normal and maybe a little humorous. I was trying to be a little funny. I was trying to make a joke that had some truth in it. And Instagram at the time was, we're not playing with you. And I'm like, what? So I want to play a couple clips that I played. And I want you guys to tell me, the listeners, audience, you tell me if what I said was worthy of being censored. Okay? This is from Instagram. Here we go. Pride got all the streets blocked off. Listen, this is my thing. If you want to do your thing, do your thing. But pride at home. How about that? How about you pride at home? You know what I mean? Because I'm just trying to get to where I need to go. And ain't no pride in that. So I just said that right there, right? I got to pride where I need to. Pride, because I was in my neighborhood and the pride parade was blocking off all the streets. So you couldn't get around the pride parade unless you would travel miles around the thing with no warnings, no signs, no mass emails, no mass text for that. Hey, just keep in mind on this date, there's going to be a pride parade and you better not leave your house or something. They didn't do that. And was that offensive? Was that mean? That harsh? I just said, do what you want to do. If you want to do what you want to do, then that's on you. But pride at home. We got to get to where we need to go. Instagram didn't like that. Oh, when I tell you the comments went crazy. When I tell you the type of, and you guys can go look when you get a chance. The comments were going crazy. People were so tick. People were tick at me for saying that. And I didn't say nothing. You know? John Gwaine said, if Joel crying, he lying, with the super chat. I ain't crying. Well, I appreciate it, John Gwaine. But where was I wrong, John? Was I wrong anywhere, John? Where was I wrong? You know what I'm saying? So anyway, with that being said, the comments went crazy. People were ticked at me. And then Instagram censored me. And I didn't even know they censored me until Omid, some of you guys know Omid. When Omid first came to Bond, he tried following me on Instagram, and he got a little alert. And you never get an alert when you follow somebody. And he got an alert, and he sent it to me. Shout out Omid. And this is what it was saying. Here we go. This is from my Instagram. I'm just here at the airport, and I'm minding my own business, not bothering nobody, waiting for my layover, waiting for my next flight. And a new friend of mine tries to follow me on Instagram, and he gets this alert. Review this account before following to be safe. Check all info. What did I do? What did I do? Whose feelings did I hurt over there at Instagram and Facebook? Mark Zuckerberg, boy, calm down. I'm just minding my, what did I say? Y'all help me out. Am I this toxic? They sending warnings out from my, what did I say? What did I say? I'm still wondering. I'm still trying to figure out what I say. Lil C says it's because you're black. Mark, you racist, Mark? Mark, is you racist? Mark, if you racist, I'll call BLM. But I won't call him because you're restoring free speech. But like, come on, Mark. And every time I post stuff, even as of recent times, it be getting like low views. So I just gave up. I'm like, you know what, Instagram, I'm done with you. You cooking me. I ain't doing nothing that I know of. But it makes sense now. He's trying to get it right. He's trying to be better. He's turning over a new leaf. So maybe people now on Instagram got a better chance. Facebook got a better chance. And mind you, let's be real though. Let's be real quick. And then I see your calls. I'll get your calls in a second. Let's be real though. Because I said pride at home, but I see all kinds of crazy stuff on Instagram. Believe me, OnlyFans stuff be on Instagram because they advertise, OnlyFans girls advertise on Instagram. Obviously, they don't show everything, but they show enough, right, to get you to click the link in their bio. You know, it's just like a way of driving traffic. But Instagram allows a lot of things on Instagram. Way worse than me talking about some pride at home. You know what I mean? And Facebook, I saw on Facebook the other day, a lady giving birth. I was just scrolling. And the lady was giving birth and nothing was censored. I was like, oh my, that's what it looked like? I couldn't scroll away though, because I was like, oh shoot. I was like, that's how it goes? Gross. I don't know if I like girls no more. I was like, I don't know if I like girls no more. But it was showing everything. And I seen another thing too that was very crazy, but I can't maybe not talk about it on here. I'm going to do it anyway. Close your ears, kids. One guy was in the hospital room, and his girlfriend was in on anesthesia or something, and she was just waking up, and she was like doozy, and he puts the phone. This is on Facebook, y'all, uncensored. He puts the phone on the stand and lifts up her blanket, and they do boyfriend and girlfriend stuff, or husband and wife stuff, we should say. I'm like, what the? Meanwhile, I can't even say pride at home. So there was some mess going on. But hopefully now Mark means what he says and says what he means. He's turning over he's turning over a new leaf. And hopefully he sticks to his guns and we see an improvement. That's all we can say. So shout out to Mark Zuckerberg. Joel got weird Facebook feed. Come on, y'all. You know you've seen some crazy stuff on there. It ain't only me. Giving birth and then making the child. Anyway, man, I just see that there's a shift happening. Even something as simple as Mark changing his viewpoint, but on a mass scale, right? Facebook, Instagram and Meta is just a major platforms, huge. So even as something as that, to more people voting for Trump, there's a shift that's happening. I'm in LA, and you guys know how blue LA can be, how liberal LA can be, but I be seeing Trump signs, Trump posters, people with Trump hats. I be seeing more Trump in LA since Trump started running again. So there's a shift happening for sure. But I did notice that in the Christian community, that the truth seekers are falling away. And I got some clips to show you there as well, but we're going to get to some calls. And if we have some time, we'll get to the Christians. Lord have mercy. Lord help them. Let me go to Jaden out of California. Jaden, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Yo, Joel.
How's it going, Jaden?
Amazing, man.
Right
Dude,
on.
This is like the perfect topic. I've been thinking about this for the past 3 days.
Nice.
And what I noticed is liberalism as a system, I call it a tornado. Because the only way that you can stay on the tornado and not get flung out is if you go all the way in. Right? So for the example, right? My aunt is this educated woman. She's educated, BLM. She's very liberal. And at Christmas, I just said something like, college doesn't do anything except teach you how to hate God. And she just blew a casket where she was like, no, right? Getting really mad. And I was just saying that, right? I didn't mean to attack her. I didn't mean anything. I was just saying it. But the rest of the night, she just would not talk to me, bro. She wouldn't look me in the eye. She wouldn't talk to me. There was just hatred, bro.
Yeah.
And so I started thinking, I was like, well, if I were to say to a conservative something like, I think being gay is cool, they wouldn't be that mad.
Right.
They might laugh at you, but they're not going to be hating you. But
right.
with liberals, how it works is they'll first get you to agree to the basic stuff like BLM and LGBT, gay stuff,
yep.
Then trans. And if you don't agree, and then neo pronouns, and then it just keeps going. And do you know who Blair White is?
Yep, I know Blair.
Why do you think the liberals don't even identify with him? Right? They kicked him out because they don't. Blair doesn't agree with the ultra
all that
gay
stuff. Yeah, all that stuff. Exactly.
So, your only choice as a liberal when you're presented with a new stupid idea is to accept it or get kicked out. Like no liberal's gonna talk to you. They'll hate you.
Yeah, because they'll
Like, if
turn
don't
on you
agree.
too. They'll turn on you too, and that's the thing, because it's all about emotions. And
Right.
yeah, and they get caught up in the emotions, and then they get angry at you, and they want to hate you. And then if you disagree, then they'll use that same type of energy on you. And that's a good analogy that you make, like a tornado, is that when you're not all the way in, you will get flung out because you don't want to fully believe into that stuff that they give you. So interesting point,
And
man.
that's kind of like Christianity too, to a certain extent. If you don't agree with, like, I'll be like,
Oh,
Jesus
yeah.
is Lord, bro. Jesus died on the cross for me. They're like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, he's God, right? I'm like, no.
That's
And they're
such
like,
a
what?
good.
You're a heretic. All right.
It's such a good point though, because it's almost like these things become cultish, and it's not even like a Christianity itself. It's just how the culture that has created it. It's like it
Right.
becomes real culty, and if you disagree with the group, then you're a demon. You are, you know what I mean? So
Yep.
it's interesting. It's interesting that you put it that way.
And how do you feel that? Because liberalism is mostly ran by girls. Like, this is just obvious. It's like a girl's, political ideology, right?
Yeah.
But in order for it to exist, it needs men to enforce it. Like, men are the ones legislating the laws. They're the ones that are, Republican. They're voting, right?
Yeah.
They enforce stuff physically. How do you think? I think it's positive because of, like I said, you got to go all in. And, liberalism hates men. So at a certain point, these men are going to have to wake up and realize their own side that they're carrying on their backs hates them, bro. Like,
Yep.
I don't know.
Well,
I don't know when this thing happens, but I think it's close.
Well, the thing is too is that it's the men have also, they hate their own nature too. They've been convinced to hate their own nature, so they reject. And they don't even realize. I don't even think that they're realizing that they're rejecting their own masculinity. And they think that it's masculinity that they're rejecting, but they're rejecting themselves as men and their manhood. Because when you see these liberals, like you say, that are really deep in there, who are men, they're very effeminate. They're some
Right.
are, they're very feminine, and they're, you can tell by the way they speak, the way they carry themselves, their lifestyle. They're really caught up in this kind of stuff. So they're really being turned away from their own manhood and not even really realizing it. So interesting point.
At a certain point, though, because even if they're beta, the women are going to hate on them for being like the littlest masculine thing they could do, like, I don't know, speak up against a woman.
Yeah.
They're going to hate on them for that. At a certain point, they're just going to get to a point where there's no winning with these women, and either they, I guess, kill themselves or like leave. You know what I mean?
You know about the men?
Yeah, the men who are in the liberals.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're being ran, and the women are running the show, right? And it's that female spirit, that female spirit that's running the whole thing. And the which is evil, which is Satan's spirit. And it's really not the female spirit, it's Satan's spirit by way through female, and then influenced on men as well. But yeah, that's what's running the show, and that's what's changing the policies, and that's what's making these new rules and turning on you and all this stuff. So I think people are starting to see it.
I think it is the woman's spirit, though. It's not just Satan's spirit; it's the woman's spirit.
And what do you mean by that exactly?
Because, well, it's not the woman's spirit. Sorry, it's the woman's flesh, right? Because if you were to take out a man's soul and a woman's soul, just imagine humans were just animals, like we're not even children of God.
Yeah.
Men would still at least act in a way, just animal men, like just no souls, but still act in a way that is kind of like Christian-like, right? They would have discipline still. They would, even though they'd get angry, they'd still have discipline and courage and honor and these things, right? Even as like animals. Women animals would not have these things. So when you say it's Satan's nature, it is, because Satan's nature makes you go into your animal nature, right? But the specific hating men thing is a woman's nature specifically. That's not just Satan's nature. Because if Satan's nature was inside of a man, he would hate the woman. He wouldn't hate men. He would hate women, you know?
Well, so I get what you're saying, but the thing is that if you take away the woman's you take away the spirit and the soul, as you say, from the man and the woman. It's just a body. Nothing exists, right? So
Right.
I
It's like
don't
an animal.
right, but at the same time, I don't think there's a difference there. Like, for example, the woman's true nature is of the light of God. The same thing as a man's true nature is of the light of God. So if you take it away, it's both the same as well. That's how I see it.
Well, what I'm trying to get at is what it means to be of the light is of the spirit, right? And if you're of the darkness, you're of your animal nature. But if you were to take away the spirit and imagine humans existed just as animals, the men would still act in a Christian-like way. Like you can see it right now. The Christians, how they act, even though they're in darkness, they still have some values. Even if they're made-up values, they still want to have these made-up values, whereas the women wanted destruction. Right?
No, but only because interesting points that you're making there, but only because there's the men who are still kind of somewhat getting it while the women are going out of control, like you speak of. The men are still governed a little bit by that light within.
Oh.
If you take that away completely, then they're at it. Then it's all Satan's nature, both man or woman. You know what I mean?
You think that the only reason that the men in the fallen state even have those desires is because they're with the light a little bit?
What desires?
Like the desire to be honorable and courageous.
That's
and
all
disciplined.
that's just all from the light, right? And men are men and women can represent the light, but men represent it more, that we're supposed to lead the women out of their hell into the light. But a woman's natural nature is not evil, right? That's just their fleshly nature, which men have too,
Right?
and which they fall more into because men are more subject to the light. But if a woman's true nature is still of the light, and if she overcomes, she'll follow the light as well, same as a man.
I know that's true, like intellectually, but I've never seen a woman that's a godlike woman. You know what I mean? Never.
Well, it's interesting too. It's a good conversation because typically we don't see that. We don't see because naturally women are they tend to be on the more negative side of life, right? Or men more on the positive side. But the negative and the positive, just like a car battery, work together to make things work. So, example.
Wait, what?
So, like,
sorry.
Yeah. A mother and a father, like, for example, women are more emotional, right? And men are more logical, right? But if a man is strictly logical, he does his children an injustice. The same way if if the children only get logic, they're doing the children injustice. And if a woman is just only emotional, then she's also doing the children injustice. That's why mother and father both have to be together, because they create a balance in the home to where the children are receiving both ends, and they need both ends in order to, the masculine and the feminine, in order to grow and be proper. So
But why do they need emotion?
It's not necessarily that it's the emotions. That's the thing, is that they just have a more tender side. Women have a more femininity, tends to be more tender and more gentle. And because of that, is the kids also need that as well, right? And the men are obviously more like rigid and sharp and tough, but the kids need both. But the femininity is not evil, it's not bad, it's just with the way they are. The only reason why it becomes evil is because Satan distorts it and uses it and exploits and leads the woman into her emotions way out the way, and they use it against evil. But it's not necessarily a wrong thing.
Well, I would disagree with you that women are tender and compassionate with their kids. Because if you look at, if they were so tender, why is it that, when it's single mother household, I believe 78% of homosexuals are from single mother households, 50% of, or I think 60% of violent offenders from single, all the bad stuff comes from single mother. But that doesn't happen with single father households. They end up, becoming okay. Why is that? You need both of them.
Well, you need both because not that a father can't raise the children, but it wouldn't make sense for him needing a child needing both mother and father. And a woman's femininity is not evil if it's guided within the light, because that side of her, like I said, that is the way that it is what helps bring that balance into the home. The man can't just be tough and strong and logical to a child who's growing up all the time. He has to know when to also be gentle and understanding to the child's situation, because they need that in their development, which is what the mother brings. So
why do you think that men can't be understanding and still be tough at the same time?
They can be, but oftentimes we don't necessarily see it because men think that if you resemble anything that traits that a woman have, you're a beta or you're a simp, and it's not true. There's things that men can also learn from the way that a woman's natural being is, in the same way that women can learn how a man's natural being is and grow from it as well.
But the women's gentleness doesn't help the child. The women's gentleness is of the evil. It's that mama's love that Jesse was talking about.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily.
God, you would agree God is the most gentle of all, and he's a man, right?
Right, exactly.
So then you don't need the feminine energy at all to be gentle.
Well, the gentleness is feminine. The gentleness is feminine energy.
Do you think God has feminine energy?
He's not all masculine. He makes up both. Even men. Don't tell me God even is men. Even men. Masculine men they have a little bit of feminine within them. Same way as women, when they overcome, they have masculine energy in them, but that's not their main reflection to society. It's their femininity. But God is both.
Yeah,
but
femininity, I know what you're saying.
Femininity doesn't mean like you walk around with your wrist flipped or you say you talk like a girl. That's not what, you know what I mean? So that's what it sounds like when I say, oh, God has a feminine side, but that's not necessarily the meaning of femininity.
But it's not, I understand. So you just mean being more like soft, and not soft like a beta, just soft like you're not yelling at them like a drill instructor, right?
Yeah,
you're like sitting down with them, hugging.
Yeah, because you think of it like this, and then I got some other calls I gotta get to. I run out of time, but this is good conversation. I appreciate the call. But you think about if a father and a mother both overcome, right? The woman is feminine, the father is masculine, but they both overcome, right? And they're raising this child. What is the child getting? The child's looking at both of these parents as their influences. So they're getting a little bit of the feminine and they're getting a little bit of the masculine, and both of them together are what developing a child to become what he needs to become. So if children are raised by mother and father and that's the best way, why is femininity evil?
Well, I'll let you go, but I just want to say this. How I see it is that the traits you're ascribing to feminine is not necessarily feminine, because God is a man, he has them. And men are made in the image of God, so they have those traits. I subscribe more to Jesse's view, where the woman is basically a clone of the man, except she's the vice president. So it's not as if the child's getting different things from the parents, because the traits are both in the man and the woman, since the woman's a clone of the man and the man is a clone of God. It's just that you need the woman to manage the home while you're out at work and stuff like that.
Well, then why, if that's the case, and if the woman's just a clone of the man, then why not marry best friend, guy?
Right, because a best friend is not, they're equal to you. They're not submissive. When you're in a relationship, you want the vice president and the president. You don't want the president.
Submissiveness comes from femininity. So if she's going to be a clone of the man, then she's going to be acting like the man, and we don't want that. We don't want
to God, though.
Right, but we don't want a clone of the man. We just want a woman to be in her true nature and a man to be in his true nature. You don't want a clone, or else you can just
But they
marry
are.
your best friend that's a guy, and you guys just have an agreement in the home who cooks, who cleans, and then you have that. But no man wants that.
But the reason that it doesn't work is because imagine if there was two gods. That's why God didn't make another God. He made a human being who was his miniature clone, not a full-blown replicate.
Well, fair enough. Fair enough. Interesting topic, man. I appreciate it. We'll have to get more into it. I'm running out of time here. But I appreciate it, Jaden. I think you've called in before and you've made some good points every time you call in. So call me again,
And
man.
bro, your show, I swear, every time you have a show, I've been watching like ever since like I called it like a month ago.
Yeah.
Bro, every single time, it's like exactly what I've been thinking
Right.
for the past day. Like,
That's cool, man. It makes for a good conversation. So I appreciate the call. Call me again.
all right, have a good one.
All right, man. You too. Right on. So caller wants a clone of a guy, says chat. Interesting stuff though, right? Interesting stuff. I haven't thought about that for a while. I just haven't talked about it on a podcast, but there's a reason why men are masculine and women are feminine. One is not right and one is not wrong. No, they both are right. Meaning like they're both not right or wrong. They're just what they are. Now, femininity out of control can turn into emotions and overreacting and catering and stuff like that, right? But femininity in its true nature is still of God. Just like if masculinity went out of control, it's messy, it's rules, it's military, and that's also not good. But masculinity in its true nature as well as of God. They both are of God, right? It just so happens that femininity falls more on the softer side, which can be influenced more by evil because it's the weaker vessel. But God makes up both. God is both, right? It's interesting. It's something to think about. Something to think about. Let me keep the calls moving. Okay. Let me go to Gray out of Los Angeles. Gray, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Joel, what's up? How you doing?
How's it going, Gray? All is well.
I was listening to the conversation you just had, and I just kept thinking about the song by James Brown, This Is a Man's World. You heard it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, this is a man's world,
Yeah.
but it wouldn't be nothing, right? Without a woman or a girl.
Yeah.
And so, I kind of have to disagree with the last guy because he says, like, what does the woman do that they need? What does she play a role in the relationship? And to me, the role she plays is that when those kids grow up in a father and mother household, he's going to see how the father loves the mother. That's the role she plays. She's an example of what how the father deals with everything. Yeah. And I think right now that you were saying the femininity, masculinity, I think those are just titles. I don't even think that really exists.
Oh, nice.
Like, you think about femininity, and people get a bad, like, oh, it's weak, because it's a title, right? It already is attached to a weakness. Same thing with masculinity.
Yeah, that's true.
The same way people say masculinity nowadays is like, dumb, just like you said, military mind, no love. And I was just thinking, like, what are your thoughts on that? Like, I just think that she serves as an example of the father's love, because how is the father going to show love if there's nothing to show love towards? Like,
yeah, I think femininity and masculinity are just like they're words to use to describe the different type of natures, but at the end of the day, the true nature is love. We're all supposed to be of love. So if the mother is of love and the father is of love, and love doesn't necessarily mean just tough. Love also means be gentle when it's time to be gentle. Love also means listen, but love also means correct. So
Yes.
if and we typically know men are the ones that are more correcting, and then women are the ones that are more listening, but all of that is love, and we want to return to love. So I get what you're saying when you're saying to get rid of femininity and masculinity, or like that's an overuse, because people have changed these definitions into something that is not what it is.
Yeah, it's a distorted human version of it, but
Yeah.
I mean, I was thinking about that song because I've been listening to it for some reason. It's heavy, and like in that song, it also says like, man makes everything. They make the train that carries the load. They make the toys the kids play with.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, what would a world be with a bunch of men? Like if just men existed, that does not seem like a good world to me.
And what do you mean exactly?
Like I was thinking, like, what if the world was just men?
Yeah.
Just guys. I think that'll be a miserable world.
In what way? I kind of get what you're saying, but explain a little bit more.
I think it's along the lines of, okay, you're building on, men build great things, but who do they build it for?
Yeah.
They build it for the women. They build it for the kids. They build for a society. They build for a village or whatever the case is. What man's purpose is to cater to them.
It's an interesting,
in a way.
No, I get what you're saying, and I'm understanding clearly what you mean by that, because there is a sense of like value that a man has when he knows that what he's doing, or let's say as a family, what he's doing is with his family in mind. There's a sense of pride that comes from it, but not like a negative pride, but a sense of like a responsibility that a man is grateful to have, knowing that he's providing for his family, and he almost looks forward to doing it, and it doesn't feel like a burden to have one job, two jobs, three jobs, because he knows that he's just happy to provide for his family as a man. He just feels like he's in his role when he does that. So there is something when you say catering, it's not necessarily like
a bad catering,
like simping to them, but you do feel like, like this is what I should do, and I'm happy to do it for a woman, for the children, or so on and so forth. Yeah.
I mean, think about it like, in the Bible it says, Adam was walking around doing his thing, no girl around, and even God saw like, this dude is like, I guess he's okay, but he needs something, he needs somebody to grow with, and what is a guy to be alone? Like, I mean, I guess it's okay to be alone, but at the same time, it's like men's whole existence is to build.
Yeah.
And I think that's, the woman plays her part. I don't quite understand it, and it's I hear you trying to explain it, and it's kind of like a hard thing to explain, like why it is a good thing to have the mother around and everything.
Yeah.
I don't quite understand it completely, but I do see that it wouldn't be the same without it.
Yeah.
So
like it has some type of value there, is what you're saying. Some type of purpose.
Oh, definitely.
That's necessary.
And women get a lot of, BS. They get this and that. Oh, they're emotional, but it's not just that. They do other things. And I think the main thing is being the mother, being the mother to kids. I think that's really the roles, is the father, the mother, and, the kid needs both, definitely.
Right on, Gray. I appreciate it. Always good conversation, good points, and I agree, man. Thank you for calling.
Oh, no problem. Yeah, I just have to tap in. I'm listening to a show, but great show, bro. I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, man. Have a good one. Appreciate it.
All right, you too. Thank
you. Oops, I hung up on the wrong person on accident. My bad. Call back in. I think I don't remember who it was that I hung up on. Let me go to Liesel out of California. Liesel, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Happy New Year, Joel.
Happy New Year, Liesel.
Joel, I said to myself, okay, if this man tells me he only has a few minutes and hurry up. I know you never say hurry. If he tells me that, I'm going to call Nick. Because I got to get this. I got to get this out. I know Hake. He's always so busy. Bless his heart. He doesn't take my calls. So I said, okay. Joel says he's got no time. I'm going to call Nick. So may I please say a few words to you guys? I hope Hake listen. I hope Hake can hear me. I hope, especially Nick. Okay. So I commend you guys on what you guys did yesterday on Punchy, Joel. Joel, I think I got wind that you are in charge of that, the content of that show. Is that correct?
Yeah, I produce Punchy.
Okay, Joel, you're doing a wonderful job, Joel.
Thank you.
And I hate to sound like your mom, but I hate to sound like a mama, but I am. I'm older. I'm probably older than your mom, but Joel, could you keep up the good work? Because I was kind of like, I couldn't watch it live, but when I got home, I said, I need to watch that. Because I saw the preview. I think you guys, well, anyway, so thank you. And I got bits and pieces from each and every one of you. Joel, you're like an outgoing guy. You're so handsome. Movie star material, okay? So whatever you said, and you're so charismatic, I took notes, mental notes.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Christian. Hake likes to describe himself as a Christian. And you can tell, he's sensible, he's articulate, he's educated, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when he speaks, I listen because he's got sensible things to say. But then we have Nick, who has he has the careless hair, Oh, no. Nick, I was just laying there, I was just listening. Nick decided he took a headlong dive into the Mariana Trench. He went deep. I almost felt like 16 again, wanted to get up and do a cheer, like in high school. I said, I couldn't believe that came out of Nick's mouth. Yeah. And so it was so valuable that I had to rewatch it because, like I said, each and every one of you, all three of you, had so much. It was like jewels. It's like I had to hide the diamonds underneath my pillow last night because what you said, I wish I had heard when I was younger. We've all gone to church. May I say a few more things? We've all gone to church, Joel. I've gone to many churches, spoken to many pastors and priests regarding relationships. I've went to, listened to counselors, went to all the seminars, watched all the relationship gurus, the so-called gurus, you know what I mean? Yeah. And spoke to God, got on my knees, prayed to God, but seemed to have heard the devil instead. Do you know what I mean?
I understand.
Failure. So it's like, okay, I feel like in my life right now, I feel like it might be sad to say, but I feel like I'm on my last leg. So I said, I don't want to go out with a whimper, Lord. I want to go out with a bang. I want to just be by myself. I want to enjoy, the activities that I do. I teach music on the side. I serve at church and I work at the store, at my cousin's store. So, sometimes so-called love will visit you unexpectedly. Yeah. So your content, Joel, and you're so charming, Joel. I was hearing your side. I was like, okay, Joel's making sense and Hake makes sense. And then Nick comes out of left field. I said, where is this man from? And so I heard, he's an anchor baby. I was like, where is he from? He's from outer space. So thanks. I love you, Joel. You don't have to say it back. I love Hake. I love Nick. I love all of you. And you've brought such a big gift. And I hope you guys know that. So thank you, Nick. Thank you, Hake. Thank you, Joel. I will continue to listen to you. Joel, thank you for sharing. It was so funny. And I just appreciate it. It was informative. It was deep. And then on the one hand, it was funny. So that's what I like. I love humor. So thanks for injecting the humor, Joel. Right and Joel, on. Thank you for what you do, Joel. That's all I can say. Thank you so much. And I'll let you go. And could you have more shows like that, Joel? Maybe, I don't know. I'm sure you have a lineup of what you're going to do, but all the ladies, all the women, young and old, and all in between need to hear your message.
Right on. Well, I appreciate that, Lizo. It's understood what you're saying. I appreciate it. We appreciate it. I'm sure the guys out there are hearing you and they appreciate it as well. And we love you back. You've always been supporting.
Oh, you love me back, Joel. Okay. Thank you, Joel. Take care. Bye.
All right. Have a good one. Right on. Interesting. Right on, Liesl. Appreciate it. Liesl's been a supporter for a long time. And she's tuning into all the shows. And we appreciate her. So thank you for the kind word, Liesl. Loud and clear. We appreciate it. I have some other clips. Dang. Do I have time to get to it? No, I don't got time to get to it because American Anchor Baby is coming in a few moments here. So make sure you guys tune in to American Anchor Baby. And make sure you guys don't miss this show. And make sure you guys tune in. That's all I can say. I'm just trying to think right now if I have time to get to super chats. And I think I'm going to get to them anyway because I didn't get to them last week. Kale Samogi says, people acting like handcuffs and completely immobilized folks. Kale's referring to yesterday's commentary on James Brooks, I believe his name was. I could be getting his name wrong, but he was the inmate that was allegedly, I don't even want to say it because then people are going to think, oh, he was. And he was being hit by officers and he happened to die afterwards. Allegedly, it's from the blows of the officers. We don't know. The full story is not out yet, but they're trying to say that he was beat to death by these officers. It did look pretty severe, the beating, but we just don't know why. But Kale was referring to that. He says people acting like handcuffs, completely immobilized folks, meaning that just because he had his handcuffs on doesn't mean he was completely defenseless. So I just say don't overreact to any situation that comes about or any video that you see. Don't overreact to it and be quick to have an opinion. Wait until you understand all the facts, all what's going on, so that way your opinion is standing on all the facts. You know what I mean? So that's that. John Gwain says, how do you get buff? Well, you got to work out. That's the recipe. That's the first step. You got to work out. But a big thing you don't want to do is force yourself to work out. You know what I mean? Because that's a goal for a little while, but you have to genuinely want to either gain weight or lose weight for you to actually stay consistent. If you're just doing it because, I don't know, you think that you should, it ain't going to work. You got to do it because you genuinely want to do it, and that's what's going to help you gain or lose weight, right? Don't do it because you're feeling guilty or you're feeling like, oh, shoot, I'm going to get so skinny, I'm going to disappear. Do it because you actually want to do it, and that's the best way to gain or lose weight. So that's that. Appreciate it, y'all. American Anchor Baby's about to come in right now. I got to end. I'll be back here tomorrow for some more stuff. And we'll get into it. Maybe we'll finish the clips off from today. We'll see. Appreciate the calls, the chats, the comments, watching online. All of that is appreciated. I got to end. Until next time, y'all. I'll see you on the flip. Bye.